All right, everybody, blanket appraisals and how the banks are saving our pre-construction condo projects and units. Before you sign anything, watch this video. And however, there's the other side, how it could actually benefit you and how it might not benefit you. So let's get right into the video. All right, folks, so what if I told you that your unit, it's already worth less than your mortgage amount, even though you have not moved in yet? So what is a blanket appraisal and how will it help? So a blanket appraisal is when a lender, often in coordination with a real estate developer, agrees to finance a pre-construction home based on the original purchased price. Remember, the original purchase price, not their current market value. Instead of appraising each unit individually, one appraisal is used to value the entire project or the building, the tower, right? So why is that used? And will it be used in your case? It might, so check out with your developer. So developers use blanket appraisals to streamline financial for buyers in new construction, introduce delays at closing, and ensures deals go through, because that's their biggest problem right now for these builders and developers trying to get these deals to actually close, even when market prices are failing. And the market prices are definitely failing, and it's an actual disaster out there. Lenders accept the developers' pre-agreed values across all units, creating less risks for the builder and more predictable outcomes for the banks. So hear this out. Lenders accept the developer's pre-agreed value across all units, creating less risk for the builder and more predictable outcome for the bank, right? Less risk for the builder, more predictable for the bank. Okay, so how does it actually work? A single appraisal is done for the whole development, example, a condo tower. Now, all units are treated as if they have the same appraisal value. Typically, the contract from 2021 or 2022, because that's where the biggest issues are, right? Because at that time was the actual real estate peak in Toronto and basically across the entire Canada. Even if prices have dropped since, and they have significantly. Buyers can close using these inflated values to secure a mortgage, even if the unit's real value is much lower. So what is basically happening? So you are getting an appraisal. That appraisal is divided in the tower, and that value of the mortgage is going to be much higher than the actual current market value, right? So you're writing a higher mortgage and automatically it's a deficit, right? But you will close. So you're moving into a unit that's obviously, well, basically you're paying more than for the value, right? So why is it risky for the buyers? Now, if today's market value is lower than the purchase price, buyers are technically paying more than the unit it's worth. They end up underwater holding a mortgage for a home with no equity, zero equity. All right, if they try to sell or refinance, they may face serious financial losses. A job loss or market dip could lead to default or foreclosure. So let me give you a real world example. Imagine a 100-unit condo project. In 2021, units sold for $800,000. Now in 2025, similar units are worth around $650,000. The developer and lender use a blanket appraisal to keep the $800,000 value for financing. Buyer close on their deals, but are already in a negative cash flow. So be careful what you do in this case. I would suggest you do your own appraisal. You try to close as best as you can on your own terms, if that's a possibility. Even though my phone keeps ringing all the time, right? And it's always the same problem, right? The values that they have paid back in the day, like we cannot even match that, right? And it's not even me or us, it's the bank. If the bank doesn't give you the funding, see you later, it doesn't work, right? So in this case scenario, and it's happening, and it will keep happening probably for years by the time we gain some equity in some of these units, right? And in this example, a unit that was $800,000 and now the market value is 650, there is a deficit of $150,000. So how long will it take for the actual market to come back, right, to the $100,000 value? On top of that, if you are renting this unit, for example, this particular unit, a monthly rent can fetch, $2,500, $2,800, depending on the location, right? So what is the difference between the mortgage, the maintenance, the taxes, and you being underwater monthly, right? A lot of people don't take that into consideration. So you're paying higher mortgage rates. Your tenant is not covering the cost, so you could be underwater for a whole decade, believe it or not. Even though some people are being optimistic and they believe that this market will flip on a dime, I do not think so, because all the indicators are pointing towards a softening and pointing towards a further adjustment, basically. So I hope you gained some value out of this video, and I'll see you in the next one.